Blog Talk Radio.
We welcome the night.
Oasis, a radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. Joining me tonight, as always, is my co-host Ian. Ian, are you there?
I am.
It is time, Ian. It is that time of the year where we dive in to the Halloween Grab Bag Marathon. And it has been interesting over the years. Every year brings us terror. And we didn't know if we were going to survive last year. I mean, honestly, last year had to be the hardest year for the Halloween Grab Bag Marathon. And let's just say that this year it's not as bad so far. I mean, when you start off with Halloween Double Trouble Horror Show, and it just keeps getting worse with Ice Cream on the Beach, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. Last year, Ian, last year. But here in Jack vs. Lanterns, Jack vs. Lanterns to end it was just, oh my God. But nonetheless, we are here with a film that we'll get into it, but it's my favorite time. This and the Christmas horrors marathon, because you never know.
Oh yeah.
And it's just always. It's always interesting, I always throw that word out there, interesting. But that's the reason we call it the Halloween Grab Bag Marathon, because you never know what you're going to reach in and pull out, and that's how we are with these films. And especially with tonight's, we had a couple to choose from. Ian made the wise choice because, again, I think last year I chose Halloween Double Trouble, so it's kind of, we take turns with these first picks because you never know. And I'll just say, it's not as bad as prior, but it's still not good. I mean, it's still not good. I mean, we got fucking black licorice here. It's just like, it's not good, but it's not terrible. But our film, Morbid, and oh, God. Okay, let's get into this, Ian. Morbid. We have, let me get my names, not that it fucking matters, but we have Monica, Ashley, Blair, and Jessica, and they're all dressed up in their outfits. Monica is Red Riding Hood. Ashley is sort of the gothic, tattooed schoolgirl. Blair is a witch, and Jessica is a flight attendant. Or a stewardess, what flight attendant, whatever. I can't say stewardess at the moment because I haven't took a drink of water yet. But anyway, and they're all getting together on Halloween night, and Ashley just came back from a overseas trip, and she brought this game called Morbid, and it used to be like banned for some reason. And it's supposed to be this, it looks like it's a centuries-old game anyway. It's just your normal, typical, stereotypical thing where it's this old wooden box or crate being dug up with, like, you shouldn't play it, and they're going to play it. And so they come together, and the point of the game is it's a series of 7 questions. And you have to write the questions truthfully, and then you burn your answers, and then you drink the elixir that it comes with. And you have to be truthful on your questions. I think I already said that. And so again, the questions are kind of like, who do you love in the room, or who do you love, who do you want to die, who do you want to live, what are you afraid of, from like there's the choices, there's multiple choices for the main ones, except for who do you want to live and who do you want to die. And so the answer the questions, and like, now's the time to change your answers if you're lying about anything. And they go about it, they burn them, and then they drink the elixir. And then what proceeds is technically an anthology of each girl going through their choices, basically. And it's sort of, and that's technically the movie. I mean, I'm just going to say it right there. That's technically the movie, where each girl is being attacked or chased by whatever they're afraid of. Someone lives, someone dies, rinse, repeat. And this movie felt 5 hours long, and it's 70 minutes, if that. This film was strenuous to watch. And it wasn't terrible. That's the thing. It's like, it's not bad. It's like it was just too long, and I didn't think they know what they wanted to do with it. And it's just like, it's incoherent at parts, and and the thing is, like, I know what they're trying to do with the stories and trying to be, I wouldn't say witty, but like they're trying to, have their game, and make things fun. Like, oh, it's going to be this fun party movie, like the girl's getting attacked by a clown and a scarecrow and this weird beast creature. And I don't know, Ian. It's just middle of the ground, plain Jane film that's just long and it's not a long movie. It just felt like we were going around in circles for the entire film, and nothing happened. I mean, things happened, but it doesn't really matter. Like, Ian, what the hell, man? What the hell, Ian? Tell me, what was this movie about? It's like, was this anything?
No, and like, I mean, right before our show, I messaged us, like, I feel like I got blue-balled by this movie, because like, it asked, what would you rather eat? That was never explored in the thing. Like, what did the crush have to do with anything? It didn't come to be. Like, nothing really came of it. And everything just happened. Like, it dragged on, and then nothing happened. And like, it didn't explore any of the questions except for what you're scared of. And then,
do you want to see live or die?
Yeah, in half of them, they just disappeared. We don't even know if they're alive or dead. Like, it was hinted that they're dead or alive. We don't know. Like, nothing really, like...
There's no reason for, like, are they all hallucinating on the drug? I mean, the drink that they had, in their tea? And then, like, even at the end of it, like, so everything else was that real, or is it, like, only that part was fake? Or, like, because, like, they show up again. Like, everyone shows up in each one's whatever story,
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't even know. And, like, characters die in the first one, they're in the second one, then they're in the third one. And then, like, more characters show up, the two boys in the Jeep, and, like, I guess that's supposed to be the crush with the thing, but like they didn't drink anything, and then they're getting attacked by a freaking scarecrow, you know.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
like, are they in on it too? Like, it doesn't. They never explain anything, and you're just left with like an incoherent story that's like there's just like a bunch of loose ends where like nothing comes together and makes sense. It's just like I was thinking of it like in my weirdest terms of analogy. It's a nothing burger. Like, you're not worried about anything. It's just something you put on. You don't even pay attention to it like a burger. You know, you who cares? You're going to get the calories. You're going to forget about it the next day. You know, it's just like, oh, yeah, I had a burger yesterday, whatever. You know, it's just like there's nothing. There's no flavor, no nothing. I mean, there's a little bit of gore with, like, severed hands, but that's about it. Like, some of the stuff doesn't even make sense. Like, the first one was, like, the friend in the outside in the trap with the axes and the clown. Like, so you're walking towards it, and, like, the axes go off, right? You have to make certain steps, and you're supposed to save the friend. But she says, if you picked me, we're good. And then she goes there, and she takes the axe out of the clown's hand, and then the clown pushes her, and then her friend dies anyway. So I was like, what was even that? What's the point of that? There was just, like, scenes that doesn't matter.
No, I mean, it looked cool. Like, that was probably the coolest thing about the whole movie. I was like, I like this. I like little traps like that, but, like, still, it was just dumb. It made no sense. The other, like, nothing in this movie had a point. And the fucking music choice was awful. It's like a really tense scene, and thinking about how to put in how to convert a file.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I thought I was just like hit something because I was watching on a tablet, and I actually hit some buttons. And I thought I pressed play on something, and I was like, what? I was sitting there like I spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out what that was, and I was like, oh, this is the movie. This is stupid. Like, that's how bad of a choice this was that I actually thought it was something else.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
And like I said, it's not the worst we've watched for these grab bags. I mean, it's honestly it's just like I said, it's like there's nothing really there. I mean, it's not one of those that we've watched where we just hated ourselves afterwards. I mean, it tries. I mean, it's like it's something. You know, you've seen this type of film. At least I have. Like, I'm sure. I mean, I was like thinking of like they find a game. You know, like Ghost Game, Open Graves, Black Waters at Echo's Pond, Midnight Game, Needle. There's like so many. That's like so. Yeah, exactly. It's just like they find a game to play it, and then like their fears and stuff come out. I mean, but they don't really do much with it. You know, they're like, oh, here's creepy clown. Oh, what's going to happen, Ian? You know, like what's good? What's the clown doing? Oh, it's every time you take a step, the clown takes a step. Oh, Ian, be careful, buddy.
Yeah,
you know,
like and it was just nothing about it was just all weird. Like, he got in the house, he was trying to kill her, but then like wrapped his handkerchief around her foot, tripped her, and then she got out. And I was like, okay, so he has magic powers? I was like, so, wait, what? It was just like, those girls were hot, and that was the highlight of this movie. But like I said, I felt like I could. What? Oh, go on.
Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this whole movie, I just felt like I was getting blue-balled because like it felt like it was leading up to something, and then it would just automatically like end, and I was like, what? I was like, this is worse than some of those short stories we've watched where they just like end really quick. I was like, that gets done better. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was thinking of Halloween at Aunt Ethel's, where it was like so convoluted and nothing makes sense. I mean, this one, it sort of makes sense where like the ending doesn't, you know, of course like the ending doesn't work for Aunt Ethel's for anything else set up in the film with the book and shit. But, you know, at least this one sort of like set up the game. But like, again, like, why is she, like, again, fucking spoilers, like, the friend lying, like, everyone else was, like, truthful, and then, like, at the end, like, the one that brought the game lies, and then apparently, like, again, nothing fucking makes sense. That's the thing. You just look at it, and you're just like, nothing of this makes sense. Like, you don't know every story is a game, or that they're in, their own story/game. And then, like, if that's true, and then, like, they're alive in the next one like, if the next story is, like, the next girl's game, but, like, they're alive again, they didn't die in the first one, and then, like, they get reborn to relive the next game, and then they're reborn again, or whatever, into the next game, but then, like, the third game, they're all dead, or something like that, because she's untruthful. And, like, she dies because everyone else lives, and then she dies. Is that the game? What's the game? What's the fucking game? It doesn't, like, what is it? What's the point of the game?
Yeah, exactly.
Who wins? Who loses?
And, like, were you all supposed to play? And then because that girl didn't, she actually died? But it didn't end. Like, it didn't actually end. It ended on a stupid cliffhanger of, like, these two trick-or-treater girls screaming. Like, spoilers, but still, like, it was ridiculous. Like, I was just like, what was this ending? Like, nothing was answered, nothing. I was like, what the fuck? I was like
is the house just like the whole playboard now because you did the incantation of the game, the seance, if you will, of the game, and, like, anyone that comes around the house is automatically in the game. It doesn't matter. Like, the boys are in there for some reason, and, like, they become pawns in it. Like, they didn't do the seance. Or they just, where?
And, like, what I was sitting there trying to figure out was, like, all of that. Like, I was honestly trying to, like, take hidden meanings and stuff just to make some kind of, like, latch onto some things that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at all. And I was sitting there, I was like, so do they have to survive until, like, this smoke thing goes out? Or, like, the fire thing goes out? And, like, because I figured they all existed at the same time.
Yeah.
In each other's worlds. Like, that's kind of, like, what I think I figured out is, like, they all existed. And then, like, whoever was the odd person, like, the person who got voted more to die was the one who died. Or something. And I was just trying to think of, like, okay, this is where this could have gone. But I don't even know. Like, nothing happened. Like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I knew the girl who brought the game didn't drink the thing. And then she randomly chose, like, the girl that was supposed to be her best friend, and he was like, "You're lied on that." I was like, well, why would she do that? Why would she write her friend, like, because it wasn't Blair or, what was her name, Jess, right? Like, it was the girl that she said was her best friend, but she said she was only her friend at a convenience, and it was like, lies. And it's like, why are we not explaining, like, why she did that? Or, like, what's the point of him forcing her to tell the truth and then, thank you for playing? What the fuck was that? I was like,
there's so many ways to just, like, try to see how the game fucking works. It's like, as we're trying to explain something to get some sort of relevance out of this film, because there's none. There's, like, we're grasping at straws here trying to make this make sense. Like, so does everyone survive if they don't lie? And so, like, or, if there's no one that lies, they all survive the game. But if the last one lies, they all die. Do the other three live? Just the one that died, the one that lied dies. There's nothing. So you just have to, all these paths, all these branching paths, and it doesn't go anywhere. at the end of the day. And so you're just left with more questions than answers.
And, I mean, it's just... And honestly, like, I felt like it was going to drag on, you know? But, like, it's a really weird... Because the pacing is terrible. The pacing's all over the place. But it's mostly just drags on. Like, the parts that don't need to drag on. And the parts that we want more of are over before... Because I was like, I even had to pause it first, like, and go back, hit the, like, back 10 seconds to figure out, like, what I missed. Because that's how fast things change in this movie. Like, everybody disappears, and then they reappear, and then it turns into something different, and it's just like, what is like, everything is going just way too quick. It, like, gets started too fast, it ends too fast, and there's nothing in between. And, like, I honestly feel like this movie should have been an hour and a half long. Because then that would have given enough time. Yeah. Like, it needed to stop with the bitching and complaining of what happened in high school. All the random, I shot an AK-47 when I was in South Africa fighting off poachers. I was like, that is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. I was like, that is the most, like, this just blows movie logic out of the water, because it's like, that is unbelievable. That is completely unbelievable. Like, I can get that she traveled the world, but if she was in fucking Africa this whole time, then how did she get to Japan? Was she just traveling the world?
I could be at Anna's getting my dick stuck, man. I could be at Anna's getting my dick stuck now.
Dude, he said that so much. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, that was just so weird thing. I was like, I wish they would cut the dudes out. Like, honestly, the dudes didn't even need to be in it.
They didn't add nothing besides body count. I mean, I guess that's the reason, because like, there's...
And the fact that Jess is a lesbian for Blair, but she won't tell her. Like, and I was like, okay, so I was like, I was like, are we going to explore this? Are they going to do something where, like, is the game going to, like, explore, like, what would happen if she actually told her and it went bad, or something like that? Like, that's what I was thinking.
It's like a Groundhog Day movie where they wake up and, like, they do the same thing over again, and, like, they're forgetful of, like, the thing that happened before. You know, it's like, it's not like, and they don't remember the Groundhog Day, they're in a loop, you know? It's like, that's films. Like, you're just like, you wake up, you're doing the same thing, they're playing the game, and, like, you shouldn't have done this. Like, what do you mean? Like, we're alive again. Like, what? Okay.
But my thing is, like, I guess it's not hallucinations, obviously, because, what's the blonde's name? I remembered Blair. Yeah. I don't know how I forgot that. Ashley, she didn't drink it. So, and I knew she didn't drink it. I noticed that. That was something I did pick up on when we first saw, like, when it first happened. Because she was looking around the room, like, very shifty-eyed. And I was like, okay, so she's not drinking this. So, I thought she was going to, like, drug them or something and kill them.
And she's, like, taking pictures of them, too. That's another thing we forgot to bring up, where she's, like, taking pictures of them.
But that's the thing. It happened in that one girl's, the second to the last one. Was it Jess's? No, Jess was 2.
I think Blair.
It was the friend.
Yeah, the whatever, Monica or something. Was it Monica?
Yeah,
Monica.
I think Monica was the last. I think Blair was first because she had the Zoltaire. Honestly, that was that was the best out of all of them, and that's saying a lot, but I really liked the unplugged Zoltaire, or whatever his name is, and the fucking chains on the box. I absolutely loved, like, her head getting smashed in. And I was like, okay, this is good. I was like, it's a little quick and things are a little weird, but out of all of them, it just, like, you know, I was like, the rules didn't make sense. And things happened way too quick to get there, like, without really, like, us understanding what was going on too much. Because that's the problem. They just throw things at you. They don't really give you time to, like, understand what's going on. And I don't care enough about this movie to watch it more than once to see if I missed anything. But
there's no reason to endure the 5 hours that it takes to watch 1 hour, you know.
No, exactly. And I think you know, like I said, that was to me, out of the entire movie, that was the best scene, just watching someone get their head crushed. And then the rest of them, they all died off camera.
Yep.
Except, and I don't even know if Ashley died. And if she didn't take the medicine, how is she in this? And that's what I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because she's not technically playing. But I guess she did burn her card, so I don't know. But
it doesn't matter, Ian. It's just
it really doesn't. No, like
I looked into it.
I just got finished with this movie just like right before I called in, so like I haven't even had time to process what I just fucking watched. I'm processing it in real time, but it's like. Oh my God!
I don't even think they knew what they were trying to do. They were just like, "This would be cool, and that would be cool." Just
Yeah.
And like, I mean, they have the inkling of an idea there, but they just didn't have the means to, see it out to its full potential. Well, I wouldn't say full potential, but for the film's potential. And they just like, we'll just make that up as we go along the way. Hopefully it makes sense.
And it didn't.
No.
But. And this movie, honestly, had such a great premise. I think this movie would have been a million times better just redone. Because the whole prospect of a game, I wish they would have leaned into that more. Like in the first one, it was kind of a game. At least, she walked forward, the things got closer if she didn't step right, and she was like, I'd fall if I don't, so she backed up, the clown walked forward, and then she took that cleaver, and he pushed her, and I'm guessing because she moved on something, but that was the thing, it didn't make sense.
No.
But, it was the most game-like thing out of the whole movie. And what was the point of, and like I said earlier, the questions were not even explored other than what do you fear?
Yeah, they only if they is that a conquering your fear type of thing, and you want to see the one they don't explore nothing from the questions, and it's just why even have the fucking questions in the first place when you don't even care to branch out and tell us more about the fucking game in general? Just it's a centuries-old game, we're going to play it. Okay. What do these 7 questions have to do with anything? And, they do, again, there's a little bit touched upon, but, they just don't give you no meaning behind it. And no, are they going to overcome a certain fear of, the clown or the scarecrow or the man-beast thing?
Or lying to yourself.
Comeuppance of everything. Yeah.
I honestly thought they were going to
You think maybe they come together and become better friends. Nope, that's not touched upon. They're all just
nothing
bitches.
Does. And, what would you rather eat? A spider, something, blah, 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 human?
Cockroach, yeah. Or,
cockroach.
Human flesh.
And that never happened. I honestly thought, like, when I saw the
that could have been
dismembered
one of
hands.
the games with, like, one of the girls. Yeah, like, you have to eat the corpse of the one that you wanted to live or survive or something, or who died. You have to eat the one you want to die to save the one you want to live, you know.
Or just take flesh and of the whatever, I don't know, like something a million times better, like, and that's what I was saying, like, the setup was fantastic. Like, I honestly loved the setup. I was like really interested to see where this was going to go. I just felt like it was going to be a total snooze fest the entire time, but, you know, be one of those movies that's really drags out, but actually has, like, kind of a nice story. But it doesn't even have that. Like, this movie is just, it's forgettable.
Yeah,
like it
again,
really,
it's one of the better ones. That's thing, you know. And then again, that's not saying much. I mean, it's definitely better than, say, Jack versus Lanterns or Scare Attraction, which was awful. You know, it's just like it's not terrible. It's by the numbers.
I block out most of these movies.
But it's just messy in its execution, where there's nothing makes sense. The story of the game doesn't make sense. How it's played doesn't make sense. So as you know, like Ian's mentioned, like you're given all this information, and you're basically trying to put a triangle in a very, very tiny hole. You know, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and you know, like, that's why I said, like, I honestly felt blue balls, because, like, I got really excited about, like, what was going to happen. Like, the whole setup, the whole questions, and, like, I figured it was going to have something to do with the whole movie, and then it would just set up, and I was like, oh, here comes something. Nope. Here comes something. Nope.
Yep.
Each girl, and, like, after Jess's story was over, I was like, this is stupid. And, like, the whole, like, the whole fucking monster thing was dumb. Like, she just dies, and then she looks away, and most of the death happened like off camera. And I'm like, okay. Like, we get, like, 2 okay deaths. There is, like, dismembered arms, and, like, when the guy was using the bat, one of the guys was using the bat, and he cut his hand off, and he was, like, hitting him with the axe, like, repeatedly. Like, they moved places so fast.
Yeah, because they were right beside the fridge, and the next thing you know, they're in there by the kitchen table. Like, that was continuity at its finest.
I was just like, what? And then the hand was laying there with the bat.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, I thought that was another scene that I thought I might have hit a button or something and skipped it. Like, him dragging, like, I was expecting him to be dragged into to the other room and just, like, started wailing on him. And I was like, okay, I must have hit a button. So I tried to go back, and I went back too far, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to let it play out. And then I watched the, like, skip happen, and I was like, that was poor editing. But the movie looked nice. I mean, like, I will give it that. Yeah. Like, it looked nice. The girls were hot. Like, the decorations, the Halloween decorations looked great. But that's the positives.
Yeah. It's a gnawed chicken bone, basically. This is what like the meat's all gone, and you're just gonna have to make sense with it with a chewed up chicken bone. Like, all right.
That's why this is on Tubi.
Yeah. Oh boy, the joys of Tubi. But nonetheless, Ian, I think we tore this film. Like I said, it's not the worst we've reviewed for the Grab Bag Marathon.
It's really not.
And it's definitely, it's right there. Like, again, it's right there beside Halloween and On Ethels, in my opinion, because that film had the same problems where, like, the film, it goes one way, and then, like, the last act just goes off the fucking rails where you don't know what's going on, and it doesn't make sense to what happened previously. And it's like this one, it's sort of there, but they just don't give you anything to work with, sadly. And it's just the pacing is terrible, and it just like goes on and nothing happens. You know, I'm not saying nothing happens. I'm just saying it's long. And my God, I was just like, it just went like when I messaged you, it was like it just felt like, my God, this is just like I'm gonna turn 60 by the time this thing's over. It literally feels that way.
I honestly like. And that's like what I said. It's a weird movie because like it's drags out for too long, but at the same time it's not long enough, and that's where it's in this weird little limbo of being too long and not long enough, and that's just so weird. Like And this is definitely one of those movies I would love to see them completely redo and start over and actually do what the questions say. Because this movie could have been such a great movie if it wasn't for the fact that, one, they took it too seriously for a movie that probably shouldn't have been as serious. Because I would have loved to see something like Slaughterhouse Slumber Party.
Yeah, I think that's
where it's more
just like that, again, that one's over the top and fun, and you enjoy the girls, have fun, going around farting all over the place. It's just it's dumb. It's dumb. It is. It knows exactly what it is. This one, it's a little too serious, but again, they don't give you much to work with either. So like the story just. Nothing makes sense, that's the thing. You're walking away with nothing. Yeah, but Ian, I think we've done enough with this one. There's really not much to talk about. But we do have
too many breaks.
we're mean. But we are mean. But we just again, we watch so many things. But that's going to do it for our review of Morbid. And next week on our Halloween Grab Bag Marathon, we do have a special, I'm hoping, a special indie spotlight Grab Bag Marathon for our Halloween season. And
excited.
I'll just say that it's from someone that we've had on the show before, and it's his second film, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. Because I talked to him last year. He was getting through, and I don't know what stage of production he was in last year around this time, but it's done, and they're having a premiere this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned, everyone, for again audio premiere of the review. Because it's going to have its theatrical premiere, but we're going to be like the first ones to actually kind of review it and go into it. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully he doesn't, he enjoys our stuff, so hopefully we can get that out to him next week with everything. So that's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to that. But anyway,
I am too.
That is the first episode of our Halloween Grab Bag Marathon, and it was a doozy. Not as bad as last year, but I think we became. I don't know what happened to us last year. We were put on a list, that was for sure, and then we were applauded for being put on the list. So that's something. That's odd.
Hey, at least, and at least they were a better sport about our review than Amityville.
Yeah, to say the least. But, man, where these shows go, So thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next week on the next episode of the Halloween Grab Bag Marathon on Horror Night Oasis.